Now that I've made these 3 compost bins, I've got to get on with filling them up. I want to make the best use I can of all these wonderful bamboo leaves, all the rice straw that I've got, the lawn clippings, and a bunch of other stuff that I'll explain during this video. So I've added some green lawn clippings to a mix of the rice straw and the leaves that have fallen from my bamboo, and amongst that there was some of the old compost that I've already made. I'll be adding a little bit more of that, but right now I'm going to add some of our photosynthetic bacteria plant food that'll really start to help it break down. I've also got some biochar here that I'll add to the mix, because as this mixes in with the compost, it will get supercharged with all of the goodness and all the microorganisms that begin to generate and breed in the compost. They'll come to live in the biochar, and this will be adding goodness to my garden for a long time once it's all ready to go. There you go, I've just added some food scraps to the mix as well. Basically what I'm looking for is a 50-50 mixture between green, so food scraps and lawn clippings and animal manure, and 50% brown, so the rice straw, the bamboo leaves or other leaves. And then you can also put in cardboard or paper, preferably without any heavy printing or coating or plastic tape left on it, but anything that's natural can go into the mixture. So the greens are nitrogen rich, so this is adding good content of nitrogen to your compost, and then your browns are carbon rich, so this is bringing carbon into the mix as well. So whatever I'm putting in, I want it to have a largest surface area as possible. So if I put paper or cardboard in, I'll tear it up or shred it up, and then anything else I'll break it down so it's as small as practical. Then along with my browns and greens, I'll add in some natural activators, and this can be things like the photosynthetic bacteria plant food that we create, because that's an active enzyme plant food. And then also old compost. I added some at the start, I'll add some more in another layer or two from a compost bin that I made the compost from our bamboo leaves last year. And then also urine. So if you're outside and need to take a pee and don't want to go inside, pee on your compost. And these things all help to really activate and speed up the process. And really, like so much of what I do in the garden, it's not so scientific, it's a little bit creative, a little bit more artistic if you like. And so I'm not really measuring or weighing out what I'm putting in, it's just doing it by feel, doing it by eye. And then the other two important ingredients that compost needs is air and water. It doesn't want to have too much water, but it doesn't want to be dry as well. And the easiest way to tell is as it starts to break down, if you can get a handful of it and squeeze it. If it's damp but not dripping, that's what you want. If it's got water dripping out of it, then you've got too much water in there. And with this combination of your greens and browns, the water and then aeration, so once the compost pile's been sitting for maybe 4 or 5 days, I'll turn it over into the next bin. And this way it's going to be aerating, it's going to be adding air to the mixture, and then once it's going, I'll be looking at turning it over every 2 or 3 days to keep it aerated, and eventually, hopefully within a space of 2 or 3 weeks, this will start giving us a really good result. And I expect to be getting temperatures in the vicinity of 55 to maybe 65 Celsius, maybe 70 degrees Celsius, and this will help to break it down and keep it good. But if I was to leave it all in this bin in one pile and not turn it, then the process will be slower and it will be less active at the sides. And some people will build compost bins and say you've got to have slats, you've got to have aeration in the sides and around the back of your compost, but from what I've studied, what I've learned is that this is not always beneficial, because it's good to have solid sides. They keep the temperature and the moisture at a better level for you. And then I can check it once I'm aerating it, once I'm turning it, I can be checking it to see if I'm doing it too many times or not enough. And then after a while, after I'm satisfied that it's broken down enough, I'll be checking the temperature and noticing to see if it's still too hot or if it's cooled down. As the compost begins to break down, it won't keep that hot temperature. It'll reduce down, and at that point I'll go to my worm farm, I'll collect up some worms and I'll add some worms into the mixture. And as I said, I'll be adding also some biochar, maybe some ground up eggshells. All these things will work together to make a really rich compost. And once it's settled, once I've put the worms in, I'll just leave it for a while, let the worms do their thing, let the worms enjoy it for a while, and then I'll get on to using it in the garden. So the two key things that I think will really make a very rich compost here and that will help immensely are our biochar and our photosynthetic bacteria plant food. If you want to check out videos that I've made on both those topics, check out these links here. And again, thanks for watching another video from our garden here at Suansook Homestay.